Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino. What is today? It's freaking Tuesday. It's record high day yet again for the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. You watching this freak show? No surprise to anybody who follows this blog what I say this morning. By every freaking dip that comes along, yeah. Post-market wrap-up today, and we have a lot to cover here. Look, I got beat up pretty good from a whole bunch of people about the video I did earlier. And I said specifically, and I stand by this, people. Look, our record stands. It's all you need to know. All right. We have nailed this freak show of a market across the board for years, and it's not going to stop. And you all know that here. Today, earlier, stocks were down hard across the board. Then all of a sudden, a miracle happened. I'm laughing. Bond yields started coming down, and some mysterious buyers buying all the debt. Imagine my shock, and also buying the stock market here. We know who this is. The Fed, not only, in case you didn't know, buys the debt, but they also buy large cap stocks like Apple. Okay. Apple new record high today, and that pushes the market up. The Fed has a trading desk. The New York Fed has a trading desk. They don't frolic around in front of it. They buy the market. Okay. In case you were wondering, there's nothing real here at all across the board. And the reason why a lot of you, again, are taking the opposite side of the trade than I am, that is, good luck. That's all I have to say, betting against me and my Lions. If you're going to bet against me and my Lions, the chances of you winning are very, very, very low. In fact, fractional at best here. The game remains the same. Like Zeppelin, the song remains the same. More easy money. Currency devaluation on an epic scale. Suppressed rates on a massive scale, soaring out of control debts, deficits, hyper debt. What does it mean? What does this all mean? You think really this is a recipe for a market crash today? No, it's not. Because see, what a lot of people, again, maybe you're new here, some of you, the real crash is not going to begin nor end in the stock market. I don't know how many times I have to say this. The crash of crashes, and this is going to be it, will begin and end the debt market. The debt market is the driver, and with central banks collectively doing what they are right now, suppressed rates here, currency devaluation, forget about dollar, world dollar, whatever, getting away from the dollar here, which is absolutely going on, dollar de-dollarization, which we're going to talk more about. We are far from this again, at least until the presidential selection. Those of you who still believe there's going to be an election because my vote counts. I'm a really important person. No. These nuts, thank you. Hey, I love Florida, and I'm happy to be here. Anyway, So let's talk. Chris, thank you. Let's talk a little bit more. So, yes, indeed, record high for the S&P, record high for the NASDAQ. The Dow did fall under a little pressure today. Nothing major here. As I said, some mysterious buyer buying the debt here, buying large cap stocks as well, helping to push the market higher here. We had precious metals didn't do too much today. Gold flat, silver quarter bid. Bitcoin, cryptos got hit pretty good. Crude oil getting bid hard. Hey, people, look, I want to say something else. Okay. I know for a fact, and yes, I did get the videos from those of you that sent to me. There are people, again, YouTubers, and some people used to be on YouTube, who really were pushing the false narrative, and it's fake. Okay. That there's, again, some kind of a contract that just expired between Saudi Arabia and the United States. Not true. This is just an agreement, was an agreement, and the agreement is still in effect. In case you don't know, don't take my word for this. Saudi Arabia is still accepting dollars for crude oil. Oh, yes, and they're still pegging their currency to the dollar. Look, be very, very, very careful about where you get your information from. A lot of people, they want those clicks. They'll do anything for it. Okay, they're going to hype things up, they're going to fake it. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe they don't want to do their own research into these things. But the fact of the matter is, with regard to de-dollarization, is this, first of all, is this a secret to anyone? No. And not only, look, you got to step back here for a moment. De-dollarization is happening. You got OPEC accepting other currencies. This is not new. This has been going on for a while now, okay? It's going to gain steam moving forward, no doubt about it. But you have to understand, before the dollar is dethroned, if you want to call it that, from the world reserve, mass death on a biblical scale is going to happen. So non-event here. I mean, all the hype that was behind it. And I saved my comments for the day with Sunday when the supposed contract expired, which of course was fake. Of course, this agreement is still in effect. Saudi Arabia, OPEC nations will still accept the dollar for the foreseeable future, and of course other currencies as well. But the bigger move is not just away from the dollar. It's a whole new system. I don't know how many times I got to cover this. People are so fixated on the minutia, on the small things. You got to step back. What are central banks doing? They've been killing their currencies for decades. A race to the bottom. Sound familiar to you? Yeah, it should, because that's all I've been talking about for a very, very long time here. They're working together, central banks around the world, including BRIC nations. Now, working with the Bank of International Settlements, the central bank of central banks, to create a digital currency. The mission statement of the Bank of International Settlements is to create this new system, and they're going to create it. Part of this must be OPEC accepting whatever currency comes out of this one world tokenized system. That's where we're going. If you think for a second that some law, some decree is going to come along and we're not going to get a digital system here, a central bank digital currency, well, again, you are way off course here. And that's where we're going. Unfortunately, can't be stopped. This thing has been in, for a very, very long time. This has been in the works here. It's not going to stop. And the propaganda is not going to stop either. Now, just real quick, bear with me on this. I want to read. This is a headline from Bloomberg. Okay, again, record high for the market today. S&P, Nasdaq. U.S. household net worth hits a record high. At the same time, we got Market Watch. Look at this headline. Many older adults will die homeless as home prices surge and safety nets fail here. We are seeing homelessness explode around, well, the world here, and especially in the people that are over age 50. Thank you, Sachin. I appreciate that. So anyway, look, the fact of the matter is the system is being, again, I'm going to use the same word I've been using, is being deconstructed. The world economy is crashing. Okay, the stock market, as you and I have said, is going to continue higher the faster the economy craters. Okay, we're getting some big economic news tomorrow. We got the inflation number, the CPI. We're going to hear from the Fed tomorrow. The Fed's not going to do nothing tomorrow. That's my opinion here. I revised what I believed was going to happen here. The Fed is still playing their games. Oh, we're not ready. We're not ready to start cutting rates, although the foam is coming out of their mouth, the drool coming out of their mouth because they can't wait to do it. Again, the Fed is inflating via other means at this point here. And they know for a fact that they're going to get some freak behind the Resolute desk that's going to help them with their grand plan of, well, a weaker dollar, of course, lower rates. Tell me again how this helps you, because it doesn't. It helps the multinational corporations. They're going to get really rich. The 1 and 2 percenters, absolutely. Jeffrey, absolutely. The number's going to be completely fake tomorrow. We all know that already. The propaganda, the deceptions, the distractions, the look here, don't look over there. So if they're going to use headline, they're going to make puppets out of political leaders and whoever they got to do to make you focus over there and don't focus on what else is happening here. But the fact of the matter is, this is building up to a climax here. We understand something. Look, let me say this again. I've written papers about what I'm going to tell you. Just let your fingers do the walking. Look up global debt and the human bubble. I am probably the first guy going back a long way now who has warned that if you were to take a chart of global debt and you were to put that on top of global population, you will see that they have risen in tandem. Global debt, population have risen in tandem. You tell me what's going to happen when the debt bubble bursts. Population is going to die off in a massive way here. A vast loss of human life is coming. Okay, a resource problem, deliberate on an incredible scale as well. This is all in the cards here. Let me explain this to you maybe another way. Central banks, their product is debt. The more debt they issue to the world, the better it is for them. The more people that are dependent on the system, on their debt-based system, the better it is for them. So this environment of, again, ballooning global population has been engineered as well. For example, I've said this before, you want to raise livestock. You have to create an environment for that livestock to thrive. You have to obviously provide an environment and provide food and everything else for your livestock that you want to grow. But let's just say all of a sudden things go really, really bad. You can't provide that environment for that livestock. You can't feed them like before. What happens to that livestock? It dies off. We're like cattle. Central banks collectively have ballooned the debt. And understanding this would cause a population boom, more people to use their product, they get richer, and then of course this is all going to end at one point here. Bio weapons and all this other stuff, war. It's all common, people, man. You don't understand. Most people have no clue as to what's happening here with the population boom, with the debt, how this is eventually going to melt down, and what's going to happen here on an incredible scale. I really hope you're understanding what's going on here, people. I really, really do. I was just writing a few other things down here. So what do we got going on here? Again, stop focusing on the issue, which is real. Again, this world dollar de-dollarization thing. Yes, the world is moving away from the dollar. The world itself is being put on a pathway where central banks are collectively destroying their currencies, and the dollar is part of it as well. And unfortunately, we're seeing the side effect of this worldwide. Do you think it's any coincidence why we're seeing inflation on a worldwide scale here? It's not just in one nation around the world. Of course not. Do you think it's a coincidence here that the Federal Reserve is ballooning the money supply, even though the economy is contracting at its fastest pace we've ever seen? Do you see what's happening? That the debt is ballooning $1 trillion every 3 months here, massively currency negative. Do you think that they don't? You see, they think we're stupid. They don't think that we're watching these things, raising our awareness, understanding what's going on here. But most people are not. Again, they're focused on the smaller things. Step back, look at the big picture, and you're really going to understand what's happening. Much more so than if you focus on the little tiny infinitesimal things here. With regard to the market, again, Greg is telling people to buy the market. First of all, I'm not telling people to do anything, okay? I believe that people should, okay? I'm not saying, am I holding a gun to anyone's head? I think people need to be long this market because we understand the currency is going to lose value. We understand the debt is going to expand. A lot more easy money is coming. What does that mean? That the stock market is going to fall right now? No. Wait till after the presidential selection. I've been telling you this a million times. That's when we will redefine things at that point. With regard to gold, silver, commodities across the board, and Bitcoin, cryptos, it is my perspective, and you're entitled to your own, that these dips need to be bought as well, across the board. If you realize what's going on, if you realize how cash moves through the system, it makes it too simple to realize what we need to do. You want to lay down and do nothing? You want to stay in the dollar that is being systematically destroyed, or whatever central bank issued currency you are being forced to use? You think that's the best spot to be in right now? Absolutely not. The best spots to be in my opinion, gold, silver, you know that already. Those are real money. Me, I personally would rather own Bitcoin than stay in the dollar. I mean, you got to be nuts here. But anyway, but that's just my take on it. Look, you're entitled to your own. I know. Oh, I know it's going to zero. I know Bitcoin is going to zero because people have been telling me that for, I don't know, over 10 years. Guess what? No, hasn't gone. It's not going to go to zero. Understand. Again, you just got to look at two metrics with regard to cryptocurrencies and aggregate here. You look at the overall market cap and you look at how widely it's held. Market cap, about the size of one Dow component. With regard to being widely held, hardly anybody holds this stuff. The growth here is potentially humongous. My lions know what I'm talking about here. It's the people that are watching or getting their information from the wrong places, like this so-called contract expiring in Saudi Arabia they're not going to renew it. Meanwhile, not only are they still accepting dollars for their oil, but they're still pegging their currency to the dollar. Make it up. Make any of this stuff up. You can't do it. It's impossible to do. Anyway, this bothers me, and it should bother you. Homeless is exploding on people. This is a sign, of course, that our economy is booming, right? We're doing so well that many older adults are going to die homeless. And the fastest growing segment of people who are experiencing homelessness are over the age of 50. Unfreaking believable. This is exactly what we've been talking about here. This neo-feudal system, extreme haves, extreme have-nots. Then you got Bloomberg here. Household net worth hits a record high. Oh, yes, this is the 1% and 2%. You understand that? Everybody else is getting destroyed. They can't make ends meet. But everything's beautiful. You know it is because they're telling you it is. People, I dare you to make this stuff up. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. It's possible to do. But anyway, like I said, we can't be beat. We are invincible, you and me, in my opinion, because we're too smart. We're too smart for them. We know what they want. We know what they're working towards. An economic meltdown, which we're in right now. Massive currency devaluation. A lot more debt. And, of course, depopulation. As I said, when the debt bubble bursts, the debt hyper bubble is the number one greatest threat to human life on this planet. Because, again, debt and population rising in tandem. You tell me what's going to happen when the debt bubble bursts. Do you think the population is going to still rise or it's going to level off? No, it's going to die off too. The same way, because they're going to force us into a resource problem that's going to be biblical. Mark my words. Remember I said that, because I don't think there's anybody else putting it together like that. It's just too freaking easy. Anyway, anything you guys and girls want to talk about before we get out of here for today? It's raining here, by the way. We've had such a drought here in Florida as of late. I live in Bradenton, as most of you know. Anyway, but we're getting some rain. And it's kind of nice. Although that means I probably can't go racing tomorrow. I was looking to I made a lot of changes to the Copo. I'm making a lot more power with the new blower. And I can't get that power to the ground. So I had to change the suspension around, a whole bunch of things to try to get that power to the ground. Anyway, that's pretty much where we're at. Yeah, I know, hurricane season. We'll get through it, Lava. Anyway, all right, we're kind of where we're at here. Good for you for adopting a dog, man. We gotta, it's a terrible thing. Sub 8 seconds, Billy, it's in the future. I will get that Copo into the high 7s. Count on it. I got a whole plan. And all of you are coming along for the ride. I mean, literally, you're going to get to see all this stuff. Don't say that. You see, look, I got this Mummy Man thing. Oh, please don't mention Mummy Man. I can't handle it. I can't handle it. It's another thing. All right, people. We're going to get out of here. This guy, he loves you from the heart. I hope we covered some important things here. I think we did with regard to what's going on with de-dollarization. Absolutely, it's a real thing. It is happening, but it's way, way bigger than that. It's about these central banks here killing their currencies, rebuilding, destroying the currency system, rebuilding a new one, taking down the economy, recreating this whole thing, a whole societal structure, neo-feudal system here, a wipeout of a vast majority of the population, no doubt about it. That's where we're going. Liberty, please stop with this here. The Saudi ain't dumping nothing here. They're still accepting dollars, okay? And they're going to continue to accept dollars for the foreseeable future. This was a scam that a lot of people fell for. There's no contract. Imagine there was a contract, for example, that people can see that said the United States will protect the oil of OPEC nations, including Saudi Arabia, for guaranteed military protection of that oil. How many people even know that? Do you know that most people who are in the U.S. military have no idea that the United States military has a mandate under this agreement here to protect the oil of OPEC nations? Why do you think there are so many U.S. bases in the Middle East? Because they like to be there, because they're protecting all of us. Really? Is that what you think? No, they're there to protect the oil. Oh, people, you can't make any of this stuff up, but it's the truth. Anyway, that's the story. So, sure, OPEC nations, Saudi Arabia, they're going to accept other currencies, including gold, including silver, including Bitcoin as well. Oh, yeah, they're going to accept it all. And then as the transition is made, as this system is deconstructed, of course, they're all working together. The new currency, the one world system, this trans-world cross-border system that we are going to be forced to use. Oh, yes, make no mistake about it, people. All right. I am out of here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your love, your support. Those thumbs up, very valuable. Please, let's work on that. People, I want to hear from you about the stuff we talked about here, okay? I'm going to ask you to please share the video. Get it out there, all right? I will see all of you in the morning. Okay, and until we meet again, please take care of yourselves. Of course, take care of each other too.